I'm going to talk a little bit about being comfortable with chaos. And the interesting thing is, I'm not going to talk about chaos at all until maybe the very last slide, because I think it's about what leads up to that and what we can do as coaches to put ourselves in position where our players get better. Now, those of you who heard me speak before, I have 25 minutes, and I know I have some friends in the audience. There has to be an over-under of 25. The chances are very slim. So I don't know what the pool is up to, but if you can still get into it, pick over, without a doubt. Player development. We can't really talk about chaos in practice unless we talk about player development. And, you know, when we invest time with our players, especially our youth players, we have parents pushing to do something. We have skill coaches pushing to do something. Our organizations, our associations, everybody is pushing us to invest in something. But as head coaches, as assistant coaches, as development coaches, we have decisions to make. We have a responsibility of what is it we're going to deliver to these players. So it's not about investing in something. It's about investing in the right thing, because your time is limited, right? Your ice time is limited. Your seasonal time is limited. The time you have with the players. And all too often, we let all the outside noise help make a decision on what it is we want to do, or in a lot of cases, even what it is we know is correct or right for our players. And I love that video because it's a great example about what we face in hockey. And I have to be very careful here, because I believe that our skating coaches provide a great service. I believe that our skills coaches provide great services. I believe our goaltending coaches provide great services. But really what they do when we're developing elite hockey players is they lessen the restrictions. They lessen what inhibits players from being successful at the next level. You have to be able to skate. You have to be able to handle the puck, right? If you're a goalie, you have to be able to be well positioned. You have to know where your hands are. We have to be able to make the saves that we know we should make. All that is critically important. But the reality is, it's not just about the physical movement. No matter how you fill in the blank, when you think about development and developing a player, it's not the physical movement of handling the puck through cones. It's not just the physical movement of knee bend and ankle flex and all the stuff that's critically important for our players. But really, it's about the environment that's created for them to be successful. And that environment is often ugly. And you can choose anything you want. We can choose something as simple as collecting the puck off the wall. And we can choose to teach our players, here's how you collect a puck off the wall. But the fact is, you don't collect the puck off the wall the same way in every situation. What if the defenseman comes down hard on the wall? What if the defenseman comes for an angle? What if there's back pressure coming back from a low forward as you're trying to break out? All these things play into the physical act of collecting the puck off the wall. So when you go back to that video, that little self-defense video, and you think about what it is it's really showing, it's showing the fact that no matter how many times you practice against the dummy, real life changes everything. And it's that way in our hockey practices. No matter how many times we script our drills because in our mind we think players are learning, it changes when the game is live. It changes in performance. So I ask you as coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, I ask you as people who are in charge of programming, right? Are you creating the environment in which your players are getting better? Not the physical environment in which their technique, or I should say, not just the physical environment in which their technique improves, but are you creating that environment where they're getting better in playing the game? Because really, that's our responsibility, right? We all see videos of the best NHL players handling the puck. You have the old Patrick Kane video, he's going through a lot of pucks, right? That's fantastic, but that's not what makes him a great player. So we as coaches have that responsibility. And the first way we make sure that we're headed down that road is we have to ask ourselves this question. Is what you're doing in practice transferable to the game? Because we look at practice specificity and we often say, oh, he can really skate. Oh, he can really handle the puck. Geez, that goalie does a great job of cutting down the angle. But that's not what practice specificity is. Practice specificity is taking into consideration the environment as a whole. So do your drills, do your activities, do the things you're putting your players through translate for your players to be better in the game? And there's a big difference when we start looking at what does our practice looks like and compared to are our players getting better. And the way we view that as coaches is how we move forward in our ability to develop. Because for me and in my job and where I've coached in the past, okay, development is critical. I believe you can't win without development. I also believe, by the way, you can't develop without winning. Right? So that's the environment we look to create as we move forward. So when you start to look at your practice and your planning, we all have these. We have our pre-scripted drills. We come around the net, we pass to this person passes to that person, we go up, we take a shot down the right side. And that happens over and over again. And think about what that does for our players. It might make you comfortable as a coach. Oh man, we really did that 5-on-0 breakout drill great today. We really did that warm-up drill fantastic. Boy, my players, we can warm up the hell out of them, right? But is that really transferable to you having success in the game? So when we look at that, we have to look, for me, at what are our pre-scripted drills and do we have a purpose? Because don't get me wrong, I am not telling you not to have pre-scripted drills. I'm telling you have a purpose for your practice. Or is what's important random activities? Pre-scripted drills versus random activities. When you're looking at long-term development, what that really is, as a coach, means you were making a decision between practice performance and game performance. Oh man, what a practice that was. All the pucks were in the right place. My assistants were on it. Their passes were good. The lines were sharp. I tell you what, if my boss was in the stands, he's thinking, man, that was a good practice. Everyone knew where they were going. Did that make your players better? So practice performance and game performance have very little to do with each other. When we're talking about developing players at the highest levels, it's what we create in that practice that will allow us to perform better in the games. And that's not an easy thing for us to do as coaches. So I asked 11 of my closest friends to come up here to do a little activity with me. So where do we have it? We have the game sheet. Guys are coming over here. I'm now out of the spotlight. They tell me they can't see me. All right, come on up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's perfect. Right here behind the podium. Stay away from the microphone. Only known you for 2 months. Stay away from the microphone. I know where this is going. All right, so I appreciate it. So we're going to do a little activity here, and you're all my players. all right? And I'm actually going to tell you what this activity is. Each volunteer up here on the stage, I want you to, without telling anybody else, I want you to pick a target, your partner. Everybody's going to pick somebody different. We don't know who you're picking. And I want you to pick a screen. So your job is going to be to keep that screen between you and your target. So in my mind, I put Matt as a screen, Dave as a target, come over here. And no matter where Dave goes, go ahead, move slow because I'm old, I'm going to have to move to keep Matt between me and the target. So we're not going to tell everybody who we choose as a screen. Come on back here. Please try not to fall off the stage, because if we do, this will be the last coaches site meeting ever, right? U of M will ever, okay? So everybody pick a screen, pick a target, and go. Yeah, this is great. Fantastic. Keep moving. Keep moving. Find your guy. Find your gal. Who is it? Where is it? Okay. Fantastic. Stop. What did that look like? Not you. I haven't asked you yet. Chaos. Did it look structured out here? Now, you knew what they were doing because I told you. But it didn't look structured to anybody. It looked wildly random, did it not? That's us as coaches. That's the parents in the stands. That's your boss up there seeing if you can coach or not. What was it to all you? Was there structure to what you did? There wasn't. It was fun. Youth hockey guy, fun, she wins. Okay? In your mind, there wasn't structure. You didn't know who your target was. You knew who your target was. You knew who your screen was? Structure in your mind? Yeah. Right? Figured out what was going on. Did you figure out what was going on? No idea. Right? Did you figure out what was going on? No idea. And that's the key to, okay, you guys can leave. I don't like sharing the stage with anybody, so thanks. Yeah, 12 minutes, yeah, I got it. I'm gonna be done early. Thanks, everybody. So that's the beginning of embracing chaos, is right there. Is that you as a coach feeling comfortable with what is happening in front of you? Even if in your adult mind, even if in your coaching mind, it doesn't look like it should. Because it's not about you, the coach, standing here looking at what practice is. It's about you as the coach putting the players in the environment in which they can improve. Right? So at the end of the day, it's the brain that does the thinking, which does the learning. Right? Why'd you come here? Anybody? To learn. Did you learn? You did? I think you're a liar. But I say that with all respect. You gain knowledge. I'll start there. You gain knowledge. You watch this and you gain knowledge. Who learned? Who learned? The 11 up here. These were the players who learned because they were involved. When we pass along instructions to our players without giving them activities in which to learn from, all we do is tell them. We don't actually give them the opportunity to learn. So as a hockey coach, when I'm looking at my practice and I'm looking at what it is I want to do for my players, I'm constantly asking myself, does the drill or activity in place makes sense to what it is I want my players to learn. Not does it make me feel good. Because I don't have to feel good for my players to learn. I have to put them in the position where they're getting better. So, at the end of the day, players cannot be successful in an environment in which they don't practice. Let's go back to the self-defense dude. Practice all you want on the dummies, but when the environment is live, was his practice transferable? Go back to my example about collecting the puck around the wall. Okay? Because we've all been here. We practice rimming the puck around the wall and collecting it. Yeah, right? You know, I mean, we've all been there. We take the puck, we rim it around the net, guy comes in, we collect the puck on the wall, he comes, circles around the dot, and we shoot. Or some ridiculous, stupid drill like that. Then we play on Saturday, and the puck comes around the wall, and the winger who did that 15 times in practice physically collects the puck and then turns it over for a goal against. And right away, on the bench, we think to ourselves, how can he make that play? Well, the real question is, why didn't he make that play? Why couldn't he make that play? And he couldn't because we didn't put him in that position to be successful. So the first thing, as a coach, if we're going to embrace chaos and the chaotic nature of activities in practice, is we have to take a step back and we have to realize it's not about you. It's not about me. Right? Practice is not about what I want to do or what I think looks good, but it has to be about what do the players need to improve. The second part of it is it doesn't have to look perfect. It's okay for practice to look chaotic. It's okay for players to fail. Right? Practice should be all about failure, or else they're not going to learn. The question we should be asking is, the drill or activity that we're doing, are the players grasping the concept? Because remember I talked about the importance of skill coaches, but also the limiters and how we play as big of a role in development as those skill coaches? This is where we have to make that decision. We see something go wrong in practice, and we have to say, yeah, but they're understanding the concept. Oh, they still can't make a 12-foot pass, but we're working on that. They still can't open up and face the puck, but we're working on that. Right? So that's where, as coaches, we have a huge responsibility to ask the question is, yeah, it looks ugly. Yes, it's chaotic. Yes, I'm going to take a deep breath and let them learn. But are we on the way to grasping the concept that I'm trying to teach? And we have to trust that they'll learn from failure. I want you all to think about this because it's happened to me, and I'd be shocked if it hasn't happened to everybody in the office, where you're playing on a Friday night and Thursday is a great practice, right? Everything is just clicking. All those drills that you've done all year finally look good, right? And those reps in the same drill over and over again finally looks good because they can come around the net and make one pass, and they can circle around for the warm-up drill. And then you go out the next day and you're horseshit, right? And you can't understand why. Maybe that's exactly when we have to take a step back and say, if I would have allowed failure to happen in practice, would my players be more prepared for the chaotic nature of the game? Right? And that's on us. That's on us as coaches. So embrace the chaos. Allow the players to fail. And understand as a coach, that failure will come in many forms, but so is the chaos that you can create. And I'm going to give you 3 examples before I finish. And it's a great quote, by the way, by Shelley Looney, who was on our 1998 women's Olympic team, first ever to win a gold medal. And Shelley's now coaching at Lindenwood. And she has a saying with her players and her assistants. Do your players know, or in her case when she asked the players, do you know what to do when hockey breaks out? And I'm enamored by that comment, because we leave structured practice. I'm not sure we know it, or our players know what to do when hockey breaks out. So I'm going to give you 3 examples, because I do believe that you can create that chaos and be comfortable with it in any situation. And we're seeing this in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now. So you're playing, and for me, right, you can play the simplest game in the world. You can play 3-on-3 cross-ice hockey. You can play 4-on-4. You can do it in a full-blown scrimmage. Whatever floats your boat and how you want to teach things for your players to get better. So you know your players struggle when they have bad calls. Same drill over and over again, 3-on-3, and all of a sudden in the middle of the game, you say, you, penalty, out. For nothing, you did nothing. But I created emotional chaos now. He's upset because he didn't do anything and I'm kicking him out of the game. The 2 players who were killing, now 3-on-2 instead of 3-on-3, they're upset because you never told them what you were going to do. And now you've created a situation in practice that in the game when the referee makes a bad call or when something happens that shouldn't happen, you've done it in practice. 3-on-3 cross ice, a player goes by you and grab his stick. Play. Because it happens. Right? So you can create physical obstacles and physical failure. You can create mental, emotional, any of those things you can create in practice by simply putting in a situation that is chaotic and then stepping back and embracing the failure that happens next. Because it's that failure from practice that will make your team better. So I appreciate your time. Those of you who said I would end early, I'm as shocked as you are. I'll be around for a while. My information is on the board. If you have any questions at all or anything that you'd like to talk about, please find me. In my position with USA Hockey, I'd be remiss if I didn't say right now, thank you all for what you do, no matter what level you are. Right? I'm a huge believer in youth hockey. I'm a huge believer in what we do as coaches and what you bring not only to our youth, but in hockey from 6 and under all the way to adults. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the conference.